Sit here and wait for that notification. There it is. Alright, so I should be able to view it here then too. Wonderful. Okay. Stream looks good. Wonderful. Turn this down. So, we're going to get into this article that I found on the today.com website, and it's called 16 Very Real Ghost Stories That Will Chill You to the Bone. I really felt like some ghost stories, especially after that one live stream we did, and yeah, all that good stuff. So anyways, I'm just gonna get right into the stories because I don't like reading their super long 3-page intros. God, that was long. So the first story is called The Grandmas in the Cemetery. There isn't any good pictures either, just so you know. Anyways, The Grandmas in the Cemetery. Jeff, a resident of Dayton, Ohio, was driving with his 3-year-old son Miles in the back seat when they passed the cemetery. Now, I don't know about if it's just me and I'm weird, but I used to, like when I was a kid, we were told that when we drive by a cemetery, if we hold our breath and make a wish, it would come true if we held our breath for the length of the cemetery. Well, there's one cemetery that's not too far from here that is so long that you will almost pass out from holding your breath for so long. It's happened to me a couple different times. I'm glad I don't take it that way. It sucks. But anyways, it was a modest cemetery with only flowers and small plaques. It basically looks like a giant garden. Jeff explains on Monsters Among Us. Monsters Among Us. Now, isn't that the one where they're searching for like Bigfoot and stuff? Okay, I'm just gonna say yes, so that way I can get back to the story. Anyways, according to Jeff, as they drove by, his toddler, who'd been happily singing, abruptly stopped, pointed to the cemetery, and explained, "Look at all those people." You know, I think I was watching this one video. It might have been on, who was it? Maybe Nuke. It might have been Nuke's. But there was this lady and she had her little kid in the car, and they were by a tree, and the kid pointed at the tree and said, "Mommy, don't you see the girl?" And she looked. She said, "I don't see no girl." And she's like, "Yeah, she's hanging from the tree." And the mom asked, and I'm assuming that the kid saw a ghost, so they say kids are more receptive to stuff like that. But anyways, Jeff turned to look, but didn't see a soul. Confused, he asked Miles what he was talking about. "All those people over there," his son replied. "There sure are a lot of grandmas." As Jeff tells it, chills ran down his spine as he asked his son what the people were doing. "They're all standing there, looking down at the grass," Miles said. Completely unsettled by the conversation, Jeff sped up and drove home. Later that same day, he says his young son was watching TV when he turned to Jeff and said, "You know, they weren't alive." Thinking Miles was referring to the cartoon, Jeff asked what he meant. Those people we saw, they were all paused, his son replied. I don't know if my kid has a sixth sense, Jeff says, or if he just has a wild imagination. Oh, look it. I like this. So anyways, the ghost of the Stanley Hotel. And they actually have a picture of this one. And I've seen this picture before. Anyways, the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado has been around for more than 100 years and was built as a posh getaway for the wealthy, seeking solitude in the mountains. As the years passed, however, occupancy declined, and by the 1970s, the Grand Hotel had fallen into disrepair. It was around that time that famed author Stephen King spent the night there and was inspired to write the book The Shining. You know, I've heard a couple different stories about, we talked about this not too long ago, during a live stream, actually. Anyways, the book and blockbuster film helped return the Stanley to its former glory. Now, guests come in droves to see the hotel that inspired one of the scariest horror movies of all time. Given its history, it should come as no surprise that many visitors report strange happenings. Aware of the ghostly rumors, Texas resident Henry Yao booked a last-minute getaway in April of 2016 to check it out. After arriving, Yao had dinner, then wandered around the Stanley to take photos. Stopping at the staircase, he waited for people to clear the area, then took a picture, thinking nothing of it. Later that night, however, Yao fell seriously ill. I felt really sick. I had the shivers. I was like, something's really wrong, he tells Today.com. His companion suggested he go to the emergency room, but Yao refused. On the trip home, Yao began swiping through the photos he'd taken when he discovered what he said was a really, really strange image of someone standing on the stairs, except no one had been there. The next day, he posted the photo on Instagram, half joking that he'd captured a ghost, and the world took notice. Almost overnight, Yao found himself in the limelight with his ghost picture, warranting attention from global media outlets and paranormal experts who wanted to examine the photo. Some experts say that there's two ghosts, and other people said that the reason I got sick is because the ghost was trying to materialize, taking energy out of me, he said. Oh. Hi, how are you? Hey, do you remember that conversation we had about the Stanley and the origin story? Because I'm pretty sure it was me and you that had that whole talk. Well, anyways, there's so many theories about this. And what does Yao think? I have no idea, he says with a laugh. Oh, that's a cool picture. I like old diners, too. Old diners are cool. Anyways, the ghost truck stop. Oh, it's a truck stop. I was thinking diner. That looks like a diner to me. On his way to get married, a military man and his best man set off on an 800-mile road trip from Camp Lejeune in North Carolina to Lafayette, Indiana. It's 1 a.m. on a cold January night in 2014, and the man tells Monsters Among Us that the weather is bad and temperatures are in the negative double digits. Mysteriously, I lost like 10 Twitter followers out of the blue. You know, I haven't been on Twitter in a while. And I can't even tell you last time I was on Instagram either. Remember we had this talk? I don't remember the last time. I don't know, they're so fake. It's all fake. I like fake stuff. But I know what you're talking about. Remember I was talking about my TikTok too. How I had like all them subscribers on there, and then all of a sudden like I just started losing them, and I couldn't figure that out either. And I found that weird too. What kind of stuff do you post on Twitter though? This is really loud. Oh, you know what? I always forget that there's like a minute delay. I'm sitting here waiting for an answer, and it's gonna take me like a minute to get an answer. Anyways, back to the story. It's 1 a.m. on a cold January night in 2014, and the man tells Monsters Among Us that the weather is bad and temperatures are in the negative double digits. As the pair close in Indianapolis, they discover they have no money to pay for gas to refuel the car and are about to run out. Growing up in the trucking industry with my dad, I decided to stop at a truck stop, the man explains. But because the main interstates were shut down due to the weather, they had to get off the highway and search for a truck stop along the back roads instead. I'm gonna wait for the stupid train. I can't even hear myself. And that's about 6 blocks away. I was waiting to see if they were going to blow the horn anymore. Jesus. It's like they blew the horn for the last 3 miles. Anyways, so he says, we found a smaller truck stop. It had one truck and it was just kind of strange. It was just a blacked out truck with a blacked out trailer. That sounds really weird. There was no real markings on it, nothing distinguishable, he says. They went in, hoping a clerk or waitress would spot them a few dollars for gas, enough to make it to Indianapolis, at which time they'd go to the bank, take out cash, and pay back the loan. Inside, they found a tidy diner occupied by a waitress, cook, and a lone truck driver. Ooh, you know what? Truck stops have, like real truck stop diners have, like, such good food. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. Now I want some truck stop food. Got really hungry. I'm very hungry. I don't know what I want. Anyways, I went inside, talked to this driver, and he bought us a cup of coffee. We sat there and talked for about 30 minutes about what was going on and why we were headed where we were and what we were doing. And he gave us 20 bucks for gas. I went outside, pumped our gas, came back in, and I told him, "Hey, I really appreciate it. I'll be back." Making good on his word, the man got cash in the bank upon arriving in Indianapolis and returned to the diner. When we arrive at about 10 o'clock in the morning, it's boarded up. He says, "It looks like it's been abandoned for years and the truck's gone." But we had just been in there. Oh, that is really weird. 10 o'clock in the morning, it's boarded up. It looks like it's been abandoned for years and the truck's gone. So how was he able to get gas then? Did he dream? Maybe it was a different truck stop. Anyways, they pull in anyway and find a police officer parked in the lot. They explain what happened just hours before, to which the cop chuckles and replies, "Oh, you met the ghost of 3. So 2 military members converse, had a cup of coffee with, interacted with 3 people at a diner that had a fuel pump. I got $20 worth of gas," says the man. "When I came back, it'd been boarded up for, if I remembered correctly, the cop said it had been boarded up for the last 25 years. Shut up. That's insane. Anyways, the next story is titled "The Hauntings at the Lizzie Borden House." Now, we already know how bad I want to go to Massachusetts because that's where the Lizzie Borden house is. You know, I have a bucket list and I just keep adding to it. Anyways, on August 4th, 1892, Andrew and his wife, Abby Borden, were found brutally murdered in their Fall River, Massachusetts home. Though murder wasn't uncommon in the late 1800s, the fact that they were bludgeoned to death with an axe and the main suspect was their 32-year-old daughter, Lizzie Borden, certainly was. You know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she, what did they call that, exonerated from that shit? Like, they said that she didn't do it, or the trial was dismissed or something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but everybody knew she did it. It's one of them stories. Everybody knows the truth. The justice system failed us yet again. So anyways, just a common occurrence. Even yet today. What was that, like 100 years ago or something? I don't know. But anyways, the crime and trial that followed made headlines around the world. Lizzie was ultimately acquitted of murder. There it is. She was acquitted. But she remains forever linked to the heinous killings, as does the home where the crime was committed. Now a bed and breakfast and museum, the Borden home attracts history buffs and thrill seekers who come to see for themselves if rumors that the house is haunted are indeed true. I mean, I want to go to Lizzie Borden house for the same reason. You know, and just take pictures and stuff, because isn't that the original furniture? Now, the difference with this is that they use it as a museum. So I don't find it very awkward that that furniture is still there. But it's when people move into the home that had like a brutal murder like the Amityville house where I start questioning things, because you bought this home that had this murder furniture in there and now you're going to use the murder furniture. I don't understand. When I started working here, it was more of the history. I really didn't care about the paranormal. Suzanne St. John, a realtor and tour guide at the Lizzie Borden house, tells Today.com. However, that all changed after St. John says she experienced a few unusual happenings of her own. Guests tell us they hear laughing and playing in the middle of the night. Things get moved around, she says. And St. John has experienced a few unusual things herself, saying that once she discovered toys scattered across the room that no one had been in. So St. John also talks of a picture that fell over and slid 2 feet across the floor without any plausible explanation, as well as a closet door that once opened on its own volition. Piercing pain in their left eyes, the same exact location of Andrew Borden's fatal injuries. I mean, I thought he just got axed to death. I didn't realize. I mean, that is kind of, anyways. Perhaps the most unsettling, however, is the story St. John tells of a tour guide at the Lizzie Borden house who asked her group to silence their cell phones before beginning the tour. Moments later, a guest cell phone rang. She looked up and said, "It's my mom." The tour guide asked if she wanted to leave and take the call, to which the woman replied, "She died 2 years ago." That is insane. No, I've never heard that story before. Well, now I know that going when I do get to the Lizzie Borden house. That'd be something to look forward to. I would appreciate my mom call me. My mom's been gone for over a year now. So, and I would love that phone call. So, that's something to look forward to for me. Anyways, the next story. The ghost of Captain Joseph White. Though Salem, Massachusetts, I really want to go to Salem, Massachusetts the most. Though Salem, Massachusetts is best known for its infamous witch trials, there have been plenty of other chilling stories throughout its 400-year history. One of them is the tale of Captain Joseph White, a wealthy merchant who was found bludgeoned to death in his bed. It was a crime motivated by money, according to Giovanni Alabiso. I know I botched it. I already know I did, and I try to correct it too. I correct myself up sometimes. Anyways, owner and tour guide at Salem Historical Tours, who says the 82-year-old merchant was allegedly targeted by greedy brothers hoping to get their hands on his will. Brothers Joseph and Francis Knapp enlisted the help of Richard, ooh, that's a name, Crown and Shield. No kidding. Crown and Shield to help get the job done. God, that name just blows my mind. There he is. Looks like he's heading towards OS. Huh. Anyways, blah blah blah. Late in the evening, when Captain White is asleep, Dick Crown and Shield comes in. He goes upstairs to the second floor and takes a club and bashes the captain over the head and crushes his skull. Alabiso tells Today.com. The murder resulted in a scandalous trial and is said to be the inspiration for Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, as well as the game Clue. Whether it's the brutal nature of the crime or revenge for the attempt to steal his money, the spirit of Captain Joseph White is said to still wander the halls of his former home. People believe Captain White is roaming around that house, protecting whatever treasure he reportedly has, Alabiso said. Tours take photos of the house, and despite being empty, many pictures reveal shadowy figures, both male and female, in the windows and on the landing of the Gardner Pengree house. Who are they? No one knows. It's definitely, absolutely active, Alabiso says. The haunted ventriloquist doll. I don't like that word. It doesn't look like how it's said. Ventriloquist. I don't know. Oh my god, my phone is blowing up. Hold on. Hold on. We're gonna take a little break. Hold on, I gotta answer a bunch of messages. Alright, so there's one. Yay! Hold on, there was one more. Where is it? Where is my other message? Oh, there it is. Oh, also, I've got this thing going. Here, I'm going to turn this off too, because this is going to drain my battery. And I don't want to drain my battery. Hold on, let me go back. Okay. The Haunted Ventriloquist Doll. When Marty was a child back in the 90s, she tells Monsters Among Us that she was a fan of ventriloquist Edgar Bergen and his dummy sidekick, Charlie McCarthy. What a name. She says that when her father came across a ventriloquist doll as he wandered through a small magic shop located outside of Santa Rosa, California, he decided to buy it for her birthday. While ringing up the sale, Marty says the cashier gave her father weird vibes and said to him, "You know, when you put your hand inside the doll, he's going to come alive." Laughing off the comment, he brought the dummy home to his daughter. According to Marty, she was over the moon when her dad gave her the doll, saying, "I was so happy when I got that doll, I was obsessed." But before long, strange things began happening. Though impossible because the doll's head was made of hard plastic, she says its expression would change, including his smile. Worried something would happen to her precious dummy, Marty's family shut it away in a cupboard most nights. One night, she and her family were awakened by the pitter-patter of steps in their living room. Thinking it was the dog or another family member, they went to look. No one was there, except for the doll, who was sitting on the couch. We remember specifically we always put it away. We always put it away because I loved that doll so much that I took care of it, Marty says on the podcast. Other strange occurrences began happening. While Marty and her dad were away, her uncle was alone in the house. The uncle says he heard Marty's father calling his name from the living room, even though he wasn't home. When he went to look, he found the doll, once again sitting on the couch, and no one else. All of our family was pretty much scared of the doll, Marty says. People would start hearing their names being called, and we would hear walking at night. So we just decided to get rid of it. Being Mexican and religious, Marty says her parents wanted to burn the doll in case it was demonic. You know, that was the only thing I didn't do with my clown doll. I didn't burn him. I tried to bury him, and then I threw him away. And then he ended up in my mom's wardrobe for like 20 years or something before I found out. Let's see. They wanted to burn the doll in case it was demonic. They put it on the grill, and, according to Marty, it wouldn't burn. This doll would not go up in flames at all whatsoever. They tried cutting it up with a knife, but were unsuccessful. It's really active over here tonight. Helicopters, trains, airplanes. Finally they threw it in the trash can. After the garbage was collected, Marty's dad went to retrieve the bin. In it, the doll. To rid themselves of the dummy, they dug a hole in the backyard, then filled it with cement. Oh, I didn't do that. I should have did that. Maybe the damn clown doll would have stayed in the ground then. Marty and family have long since moved away, but she says they still think about the doll and the possibility that eventually it finds one of us. Next story. The Imaginary Friend. Jacqueline from Oklahoma says that while her memories have faded over the years, she recalls having an imaginary friend when she was young. Her grandparents, Granny Junie and Pa Hank, lived in a small home with a quiet backyard. Oh, I was wondering what happened to you. Anyways, Jacqueline recalls visiting them as a child. I have very good memory. Oh wait, no, I was there. I have very good memories of my Pa Hank, Jacqueline says on the podcast, among Monsters Among Us. I don't know why I keep trying to run that word together, or them words together. He would sit under the tree with me and tell me stories. The stories were often about his life and memories of prohibition, she says. He was actually a very interesting character. The only problem? Her grandfather died in 1981, and Jacqueline was born in 1982. I don't think I ever realized that I was getting stories from a ghost, she says. Oh, that's... Hello. Sitting here live streaming. What are you doing? Doing what? Doing what? On your break? Oh, talking to me. No, I'm not gonna ask him that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Because I owe him a lot of money myself. No, I'm not gonna do that. Like, he just gives me gas money. I can't ask him for anything else. Especially right now. I mean, you can if you want to. You already know. Uh-huh. Hey, your friend, that one cat's back. The black and white one. Yeah, I remember the one that walked by us, the really skinny one that I told you just got dropped off. Somebody dropped it off somewhere in the neighborhood and he ended up over here. You were trying to pet him the other night. Yeah, he's back. He comes back at nighttime, eats and drinks, and then he stays overnight and sleeps somewhere in the yard. I don't know where. And then I watch him leave in the morning. He's got a nice little routine. I mean, there is. I mean, he does look better, though. He's... Yeah. Don't ask. Don't ask. Yeah. Yeah. And it don't help. I told you that that female is here and she's about to have another litter of cats. And I'm like, dude, there's already... what did I say, like 15, 16? And I was like, and then Dad said that the pound had just dropped off a cat here. Yeah. Yeah. No, why would the pound, Nate, why would the pound take the cats if they're already full? Okay. So, yeah, they're gonna... Well, I'm telling you, my dad and my uncle told me that the pound picked this cat up from this neighborhood, fixed her, clipped her ear because that's how they can tell that they've fixed her already, and then they released her back over here. So, I mean, there's that. I mean, they're figuring that at least the cats are getting fed, right? And they're not going to be locked up in a cage. They're free outside here, you know. The pound knows that my dad takes care of these cats. And technically it was my mom that started it, but you know, my mom died last year, so my dad just continued doing this. I mean, if it wasn't for him, all these cats would be probably, I wouldn't say dead, but they wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? But most of them are feral, you've seen, except for a little bit. Little fluffy, little tiny. She's so cute. Yeah. Well, and Dad said that he was going to drop these kittens off after they got weaned, but I don't know. I don't know, because pretty sure they're weaned, or the mom's trying to wean them anyways. I see how you retracted that really quick. I mean, he is too. I mean, it's from being outside though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's from living outside. It's a hard life out here. They're exposed to the elements. They're out here all, you know what I'm saying? Like, Dad made that cat shed for them and heats it and stuff for them in the wintertime, but it's so cold as shit outside. You know? Yeah. Yeah, but they can come and go out of it whenever they want through the cat door. Yeah, inside the cat shed.
That skinny
No.
kitty's over there eating. He's looking a lot better.
I know, that's what I said too. He does, he looks a lot better. So yeah. Oh yeah. Do you like it? Oh my god, that's gonna be awful. Well, that explains that. I didn't realize. I guess I should have put 2 and 2 together. Oh yeah. Wait. Wow. I already told you. I can't wait till Monday. Monday. I gotta get all the rest of my shit. I'm almost done though. I was sitting there looking today and I was like, fuck. The only thing I'm really gonna need help with is my dresser, 'cause my dresser's big, old, and heavy. And then, shit, I think everything else, no, Quentin's desk. Quentin has an old, heavy ass fucking wood desk too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Why? But why? But it's not your responsibility. Why would she just assume that you would take her? That's what doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. Not a lot of people. You're just lucky. I'm gonna keep telling you. See, it's everywhere. It's of course. I mean, at least, well, especially that little tiny kitten, that little furball kitten. She's so sweet. Aw, that's. I wonder what happened. Aw. Well, no wonder I didn't hear it. No. Alright, get back to work. Okay. Hey, I am psychic. Oh. You're psychic. How are you psychic? Oh, what's up with the stream? Sorry, I got a phone call. First I got a bunch of text messages I had to answer. And then Nate just called me. And we were talking about all kinds of random stuff. I don't know. Anyways, we were reading ghost stories. Let's get back to that, because that's what we were doing. Oh, shit. It lost our place. I hate that it lost our place. Oh, what? Oh, it really lost our place. Well, we read that story. We read the Stanley story, the truck stop. Let's see, the Lizzie Borden house. Captain Joseph White. Hey, wasn't that the story we were on? No, we read that one too. Oh yeah, the ventriloquist doll. I don't like that. I don't like dolls though. I have a thing, and their doll did the same shit my doll did. That's the thing. Oh, Nate's my friend. I've known him for like 20 years. But anyways, when he went to look, he found the doll. Yep, we read the doll. The imaginary friend. Is that the one we left off at? I think so. Oh, okay, yep. And then Nate called me. So it says, this is the last thing I remember. The only problem, her grandfather died in 1981 and Jacqueline was born in 1982. I don't think I even realized that I was getting stories from a ghost, she says, adding that the rest of her family knew of his presence in the house. My granny Junie would never stay in the house on the anniversary of his death, she says. He did die in that house. Jacqueline also recalls hearing Pa Hank get up in the middle of the night when she was staying at the house. It never occurred to me that there were memories of an entity, she said. That goofy smile. we're not gonna talk about that. Anyways, we're not talking about that. It never occurred to me that these were memories of an entity, she said. In hindsight, Jacqueline says that even though her childhood imaginary friend was actually her dead grandfather, it casts a different light because it was a relative and not a stranger. It never felt like ghosts. It felt like talking to my Pa Hank. The kidnapping ghost. Oh, these all came from Monsters Among Us. These are all stories from Monsters Among Us. A caller named Joe tells of moving to Georgia from California in the late 1990s. Soon after, he says his brother followed him to the Peach State and rented an old house built in the 1800s. It looked nice from the outside. It did not feel good from the inside, Joe says during the podcast. According to Joe, things seemed off from the moment he helped his brother move into the home. I walked into the house and went, oh man. The hair stood up on the back of my neck and I just felt ill, at ease, like this place isn't cool at all, he says. Moments later, while carrying items into the bedroom, Joe says he heard whispering. A heated whispering, almost an argument between two people that seemed to be hovering in the top of the ceiling area of the room, he adds. Joe ran out of the room and asked his brother if he'd felt something off about the house too. His brother had picked up on the vibe, but assured Joe that things would be all right. As long as you're good, Joe says, he told his brother. I'm not good, but I'm glad to help you. I'm going home, and I probably won't come back here. And sure enough, Joe's brother began experiencing unusual occurrences in the house. The most alarming, however, was when Joe says his young niece was found wandering alone on a busy road with her hand up in the air. Police and other agencies were called to investigate the incident, and when asked, his brother's 4-year-old explained that she'd gone for a stroll with the old lady that lives here. She just wanted to go for a walk, so we went for a walk. Given that the front door was too heavy for a 4-year-old to open by herself, no one could understand how she was able to leave the house. According to Joe, his niece said, the old lady opened the door, then we petted the dog for a little bit, then we went for a walk. She was so genuine and honest at 4 years old that he couldn't call her a liar, Joe says during the podcast. Soon after, his brother moved and never returned. The next story, the ghost of Stone's Public House. Considered one of the most haunted restaurants in America, Stone's Public House in Ashland, Massachusetts doesn't have a ghost problem. It has a ghost with an S, plural, problem. Oh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce her last name. It's going to be funny. Janet Morazzini, oh, I think I said it right actually, a longtime resident of Ashland, is the bartender and manager of Stone's Public House, which was built by the John Stone back in 1832. According to Morazzini, even before she began working at the inn, she heard stories of the ghost of a young boy roaming the halls of the restaurant, which once served as an ad hoc hospital during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918. It makes sense, Morazzini tells Today.com. Oh, my battery's almost dead too. That's where they would quarantine all the sick people, she explains. Apparently, quite a few souls have passed just due to that. The inn is also the site for other untimely deaths, including that of a young girl who was struck and killed by a train while she played near the railroad tracks bordering the property. According to Morazzini, a father and son visiting the inn stepped outside the restaurant to watch the trains. After coming back inside, Morazzini overheard the father reassuring his young son that there wasn't anyone else outside, despite the son insisting that he'd seen a little girl sitting beside them. He's like, she was sitting right next to me. She was crying. You didn't see the little girl? And the dad said there was nobody there. It was just me and you, buddy, Morazzini recalls. Other ghosts are said to haunt the old inn, including that a proprietor, there we go, I'll get there eventually, John Stone, who, Morazzini says she didn't actually die there, but is believed to be watching over the place. One night when Morosini was alone at the inn, she says she heard footsteps walking directly above her on the second floor. I was just like, there's no explanation for that whatsoever. I'm leaving, she tells Today.com. Still, she doesn't believe that the spirits had bad intentions. I've never had that scary hair on the back of your neck, gotta get out of the building feeling there. I mean, she kinda did though. The next one. How many stories are left? Oh my goodness, there's still quite a bunch left. The Unexpected Passenger is the next story. In the 1990s, Julie, a resident of Portland, Oregon, was driving out the city to meet with friends when she found herself in traffic. The 18-year-old soon discovered that the cause of the slowdown was due to a dreadful crash, and to her horror, as she passed the scene, she realized that someone had died. A moment later, there was a woman sitting in my passenger seat, Julie says on Monsters Among Us. Though she admits it sounds crazy, Julie reports seeing a woman dressed in work clothes seated next to her. And despite being in complete shock, the woman in the passenger seat was even more freaked out. She looked like someone who just suddenly ended up in somebody else's car, Julie says of the incident. Panicked, the woman demanded to know how she got there and who Julie was. It was then that Julie noticed the woman had an unearthly quality about her, and realized that whoever she'd passed on the side of the road was somehow in the car with her. "Ma'am, you need to calm down. My name is Julie and I'm here to help," she says she told the stranger. Julie later went on to explain to the woman that she'd been in a car accident and somehow ended up in her passenger seat. The woman was stricken. At that exact minute, they passed a clearing in the trees. With some encouragement from Julie, the woman peacefully walked towards the sun and then disappeared. Completely disbelief, Julie pulled over and convinced herself she'd imagined the whole thing. Several days later, however, a story came on the news about a trucker injured in a car accident. Before they finished, they threw a picture of the woman that was in my car and explained that she had passed away in the accident. Julie says during the podcast, "It was unbelievable. It was too much." Alright, next story. The Ghost in the Choir Loft. Alicia Diazai, I know I didn't say it right. I botched it, I'm sorry. Okay, so Alicia, teacher, tour guide, and owner of Salem Kids Tours, typically sticks to talking about Salem, Massachusetts' long and diverse history. However, there's one story she likes to share about a ghost that haunts First Church in Salem. The plot twist? Only children can see it. No! Dropped my lighter. Anyways.
Lucy's water was empty. I had Lexi give me a cup of water to dump in. It started working again.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, they've been drinking the crap out of that water, Dad. The little ones, maybe age 4 or 5, will ask about a ghostly presence that they see up in the choir loft in the main sanctuary of our church, she tells Today.com. According to Diocese, kids often point to the same spot in the church and claim they see a woman there. The kids will say she's in a long dress, long sleeves, and that she sometimes can be heard singing with the choir. Diazai says. I said it like every way different. Tales of the choir ghost have been circulating since the 1960s. says Dazai, and she might have dismissed them had her own son not pointed to Loft 15 years ago and asked about the lady who sings with the choir. Was she chilled? Yes, definitely, Dazai says. I feel like the main sanctuary at First Church has that feeling. You do kind of feel the presence of the past. It's not a bad feeling, she says, but rather a history or energy that's comforting in a way. The next story. The Ghosts of Shawshank Penitentiary. You're going to have another ghost story soon. The YouTube fan that yeeted himself out of boredom. Oh my god. Anyways. Is this the last story? Because yeah, I really... No, it's not. It's not even the last story. Well, anyways, on that note, I'm going to leave a link for it so you guys can read the stories yourself. Because on that note, it's 9 o'clock. I have had a busy day today. I am exhausted. It was like almost 90 again here today. Yesterday it stormed pretty bad, so it was very humid and hot and muggy, and I was moving. And I'm very close to being done. I don't have much left, which you guys probably heard me tell Nate. And I'm gonna try to get that all done so that, oh no, there goes my Bluetooth too. I don't know what that was. I'm over here. I swear to God, something landed on me, and I don't know what it was. No, Nate's at work. He called me on his break. I know I felt something land on me though. To Nate! Well. Anyways. I didn't think he was gonna call during my stream and everything. But yeah, no, I'll put the link for this article down in the description box once it processes. That's what usually takes so long with me making it public, is I have to wait for it to process before I can switch it from a private live stream. While it's processing, once it's done, then I can make it public, and then I can add chapters, I can add stuff to it. I usually don't add too much to it just because I want to keep it more real, and I feel like it's just more real if I leave all that extra stuff in there. So I don't know what that was. That was weird. But yep, no, trying to think. There was something else. I'm gonna move again tomorrow morning because it's gonna be even hotter tomorrow. It's gonna be 90 something with heat indexes and stuff. So I want to try to move stuff early, so that way every day that I go over there, there's just less and less, and it's just so nice because now I'm packed and moving. So before it was mostly just packing, because you know I hadn't started packing yet. So now that I got packing done, now it's just gonna be me moving stuff from his house to here. So, and I'm so close to being done. Today I moved my patio furniture, which is what I'm sitting on right now. It's gonna be nice to chill on this out here on the front porch. And then I have the doorbell up front too, so that way I can catch stuff as well. But yeah, no. Her headlights aren't on. I see you forgot about your other friend. Wait, I like that visual. You have a Kool-Aid smell every time you talk about him. I see you forgot about your other friend. What was your other friend's name? He's been MIA. LOL. My other friend's name. What other friend? Are you talking about yourself, JB? Because even though I know who you are. I'm not gonna tell everybody else your business. That's not my thing. But yeah, no. And then I have to go make money tomorrow, so I'm gonna do Spark and probably DoorDash or something. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on what areas are gonna be popping. So I'm not trying to drive an hour somewhere to go do DoorDash for some reason. It's stupid. Let's see. I have to work on Friday and Sunday's videos still. I'm gonna talk about MK Ultra for Friday's video. I've already got everything kind of laid out, and I don't think it's gonna, I mean, it's gonna be sort of long. I'm hoping not more than 20-ish minutes is what I'm hoping, and then I'll overlay visuals and stuff. You know how I do. And just try to explain what I find for the most part. So MK Ultra, that's thanks to my friend JB. And then what else? I don't have any ideas for Sunday yet, but I do know I have plans for this weekend. So maybe amongst some plans for the weekend, maybe there'll be an adventure going on too. So there's that as well. Anyways, on that note, I hope you have a great night, and you know, I'll see you in the next stream. So next Tuesday, no, I was gonna start doing more streams. I'm gonna start doing Saturday streams too. I was gonna start doing daily streams, but I really gotta get all my stuff out of my ex's house because Monday is fish moving day, and that's what I've been waiting for this whole time, was fish moving day. And now that it's here on Monday, I gotta get the rest of my stuff out of his house so that way I can give him the keys and be done. And that will make me extremely happy. I mean, I'm already happy. Let's be real. Anyways, on that note, if you liked this live stream, can't see it, but go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you would like to see more live streams like this, or if you would rather see me do adventure live streams. But if I do adventure live streams, I'm gonna have my phone and I'm not gonna be able to see the stream. Well, I'll be able to see the stream, but I guess we'll just see. We'll see, because I was thinking about doing some adventure streams too, and not just do story streams. I think that would be my way of getting my exploring itch out of the way, because I want to go explore. I was trying to get people to go with me to go explore some stuff I found, but I don't know. The only one that's willing to go, I'm not going to mention his name, so the only one that's willing to go, and I'm not going to mention his name, so but he has to work. Anyways, on that note, I will see you Saturday night for an 8 p.m. Central Standard Time live stream, and it may or may not be an adventure. Friday I'm going to do a video about MK Ultra thanks to my friend JV, and then Sunday I don't have an idea yet, but it might be part of that adventure stuff that's going to go down on Saturday, you know, who knows? You never know. Anyways, I appreciate